Yes, these are the super secrets of the ancient masters, hidden away in monasteries and contained in the vellum and papyrus held under lock and key. In all seriousness, though, when it comes to training, health, and strength, there are some major problems and solutions I'll share with you today. And stay with me, for if you watch until the end, you really will have the answer to the ancient riddle of health and wellness. Hey there, I'm Lee Weiland with Pacific Rim Athletics, and I'm going to show you 3 untold secrets in detail that you really can start applying today. And of course, I'll save the best for last. And I hold nothing back. In fact, I create these videos for our business, yes, but fundamentally for my children and posterity. So you're always getting something special. Yet, obviously, this is by no means a substitute for coaching, whether face-to-face or online, like many of our students receive. But for the love of all that's good and holy, please do not take free advice from strangers online, including from this video. Get into coaching in a community that has a safe, systematic process that works for you. Okay, let me start with an analogy. It is well known that 75% of college graduates will not use their university degrees. What is the point of this analogy? To illustrate the first untold secret. You must remove the veil so that you can see. Not everything that is created is truly created for your benefit. Imagine fitness like big education business, or any other large-scale business or industry for that matter. As a business scales, it goes through many stages and requires many additional parts and revenue streams. A university, for example, will create new degree programs that may or may not fill a need. And then recruiters work to meet their quotas for new students, which then necessitates further hiring and growth, and the cycle continues. Sometimes this cycle is good, other times it is not. Fitness and health do exactly the same thing, creating new programs, videos, and equipment that may or may not serve any true purpose other than gaining more attention and scattering focus like light through a foggy window. In reality, the human body has worked the exact same way for thousands of years. There's even drawings from the Middle Ages of acrobats doing one-arm handstands. So the first untold secret is this. All you need to really advance your training for body, mind, and strength is focus. Not to pitch anything, but in reality, that's all coaching and community do. Some people come pre-programmed as a baby with an incredibly high level of focus. In some cases, that high level of focus can even be mistaken for a disorder, but that's just their giftedness. Others want the blueprint and to visually see the system, so to speak. And everybody thrives with a coach and community. Either way, systems, coaching, and community simply amplify the laser that's already inside of you. However, the yin part of that untold secret is that most of the world, probably 80% of it, is just distraction, chaos. It's Pareto's principle on a macro level. So to use an illustration from a great teacher, small is the gate and narrow the path that leads to life, and only a few find it. Obviously, this connotation was spiritual, but what does that mean? It's immaterial, like love or numbers or logic. And that immaterial principle generalizes to all of life. So what narrow path do you want to find for bodyweight strength? What does that look like for you? Upper body strength, core strength, lifelong health, better connection with your spouse or family? Let's take upper body strength as a simple example. Start with a frog stand. So many will fail the first time or make it to a measly 10 seconds and then stop. But you should build to 30 seconds, then 60 seconds, a couple rounds of practice each day. Then you start being able to lift your knees and float. And then, with other mobility development, it transforms into a handstand. Whatever your starting point, remember this. It is okay with where you are at. You have nothing to prove to anyone, including yourself. That doesn't mean be lazy or apathetic. Growth is vital, but know that focus is strengthened through patience. So what does that narrow path look like for you? Get on it and stay on it. And subscribe to the channel to make sure you stay connected and on the narrow path, and definitely get solid coaching inside of a positive community. The second untold secret is that all of life is about one thing, bringing it into lovely order. That's the yang aspect. Not obsessive control. That would be a distortion of the principle. To illustrate, Google CEO Eric Schmidt, way back in 2008, called the entirety of the internet a cesspool. Conservatively, using Pareto's principle, let's just call it 80% smut, or as Eric referred to it as, a breeding ground for false information. Only 20% of it, therefore, is attempting to bring life into order. Like this video, wink wink, to give you true information, so that you can use that information to bring yourself into order and help bring the rest of creation into order. Physical training does that, and it aids in training the mind. and then that positive energy is applied to your work and your family, and the world becomes better, a living, breathing expression of love. But again, not in obsessive control. That just adds stress upon stress, which eventually crumbles. Think of it like a bonsai tree. Slowly growing, slowly pruning, slowly developing, naturally, organically, but with thought and attention to detail. Which leads to the third untold secret, the system. And I told you I'd save the best for last. Our system does exactly this, so listen closely. It's how we're able to take people like Venny with 5 hip surgeries and in his 50s, or Che from late 40s, no experience and past injuries, or Stu in his 70s, who was previously flatlined on a hospital bed, and see them now doing pull-ups and handstands, muscle-ups, V-stands, and way beyond. It starts with foundation, like building your house on a rock. We even call the first part of our training foundation, which has a couple parts. Nutrition doesn't have to be crazy. Whole, real foods, water, maybe a few supplements in areas that you're deficient. Warm-up is full body, every joint down to the toes. Strength usually does 5 rounds of a series of exercises that progress to more and more advanced movements and different types of strength, from maximal to plyometric to dynamic and ballistic, until you have built really cool skills. Then put your strength into movement. We call these mini routines katas. They're powerful forms of cardio and build massive confidence. And then finally, only at the end should you train flexibility. Basic flexibility should be 1 to 2 minute holds of all your splits and a variety of other positions. And then you progress from passive stretching to active, dynamic, and ballistic stretching. Once you start implementing these untold secrets, you're going to see tremendous progress, for real. Think about 1 to 2 ways you can apply these today. And we have a bunch of other videos like this on the channel, so subscribe and click any of the links to start training with us, and we'll take you to a whole new level of strength and skill.